Celebrate your small wins. Like, it's important. It's all part of the journey. Don't look around. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Your journey is your journey, and you don't compare your successes to other people's successes, because we are on different paths. So it's important to look at your own journey and celebrate every tiny win that you have. Hi guys. So today is 22nd of March 2021. I think this is the longest that I've gone without vlogging since I started. And to be fair, I don't even know how to start this vlog. Like, I don't know if I should apologize. I know that I mentioned in my previous vlog that I was working towards uploading a video every week just for the sake of consistency, but I think I'm going to take that back and just say that I will try my best to upload videos whenever it is convenient. For example, in the past 3 weeks, I was so busy that I wasn't able to pick up the camera to vlog, so that's why I was not. But on the bright side, I have some ideas of really fun, maybe not fun, but informative videos that I'm planning to make in the future. So I'm still making plans about that. I'm just trying to organize everything. So keep your eyes peeled. A lot has happened in the past week since I haven't vlogged. And the most outstanding one is that my literature review article finally got published. I don't know, I'm just so happy and excited. Alhamdulillah. It was published a few days ago, almost a week ago, but I haven't seen it in full print. So I plan to print my article for the first time and see it in paper. I'm just going to make a few reflections about the whole thing. So I'll talk about that later on during the vlog. So stick around if you're interested in that. I don't know if you guys can remember, but I mentioned that I was submitting my samples for sequencing and waiting for the result. So the result from the sequencing facility also got back, and I was doing a lot of data analysis in the past weeks. The data analysis is still going on, so I'm still trying to figure out a few things. Remember I told you that it usually takes forever to finish with the data analysis. So that's at the side. Also, I presented my project to the lab last week, Friday, actually 2 weeks ago. The last time I had presented to the lab was around October. So between October and February or March, because I presented early March, I had to sort of, tie together all of the experiments that I was doing and also try to make a concrete story or conclusion from those experiments and the result I had generated so far. It went actually fairly well, although I personally think that there are ways that I could have improved. There were a few bottlenecks, but that's okay. I was still able to make some conclusions from data, and also I was able to mention the things that I hope to do in the future. So since the lab meeting presentation, I've just been trying to sort of continue with the analysis of my data in a more cohesive way, so that I can be able to make firm conclusions before going on with my next experiment. Basically, those are the few things that I've been working on since the last time I vlogged. If you've noticed, since I've been super busy, I think I've got to the point where I sort of started to experience a tiny bit of burnout. I have not had a break in a while. I think the last time I had a break was October or so. I got to a point where I felt like I was forcing myself to do things, and it's not a nice feeling. And I've always said I love my project, I'm passionate about what I do. So whenever I start to feel like I'm being forced to do this PhD, I know that there's something going on with me. I'm planning to take a 2 weeks break starting this Wednesday, and so I'm going to just be away from the lab. So because I'm taking a break, I need to take COVID test. I'm going to take COVID test today. I'm probably going to take you guys along on that. And when I come home, I have a lab meeting that is supposed to start at 12. Hopefully I get back before the lab meeting. So I'm going to join the lab meeting, finish with that. And today's vlog is going to be fairly different because I am going to be working from home. So no lab stuff today, which is very, very rare, to be honest. It's probably the longest introduction section I've had in my vlogs. I guess the longer I'm away from vlogging, the more I have to explain when I carry the camera. Without further ado, I need to stop talking and actually go and eat my breakfast. So since mine is the individual test kit, not the pooled one, this is for the pooled one, this is for the individual test kit. So I'm just going to put my sample in here. Hi guys, so I sort of decided to go to Marks and Spencer's instead of Sainsbury's, which is where I normally shop. It's very expensive, but I'm craving my favorite bread today, so I decided to just pop in here to get my bread and also just to get the water, since I wouldn't have to go all the way to Sainsbury's instead. I always cycle through the city center, and every single time it's always therapeutic because it's just so beautiful to look around, mashallah. So like, it's something that I don't think I can ever get tired of, just cycling and looking at the buildings. And I hope that I was able to give you a small glimpse of what it's like to just wander through the city center in Cambridge. So the meeting has started, and yeah, it's already 12:05, so I'm going to be here for a while, but Dura is around, I think, 12:20 something, so I'll go and pray and then come back to the meeting. But yeah, so I'm just listening more or less, and then I'll try to do some of my work at the side.
One of the greatest ills that befall cancer research and generally research across the globe. We know from many pieces of work, from the original work of the Marmot Review through to some eminent books now from people like Joseph Stiglitz, that the price of inequality leads to a divided future. And indeed, we know that inequality actually leads to much poorer cancer outcomes.
So, as you can probably tell what the talk is about. So basically it's about addressing disparities in international cancer research. I'm actually very passionate about health inequality. Not entirely sure how it fits into the theme of my research or my career trajectory, but it's something that I'm very passionate about. I thought that attending this and so this webinar would sort of, just give me a basic understanding of the problems that we're currently facing with health inequalities, especially in racial groups.
Something in the pipeline that doesn't work, because why people from certain ethnic backgrounds are more likely to die of their cancer, even the fact that we don't have the information as to whether that's because of biology or not is still a racial issue.
Absolutely.
Everything that Sigourney just said, and I think the one thing I'll add too is when we think about representation. So I think that's what's so fabulous about the Black in Cancer Initiative is because, as Sigourney said, it's like looking for somebody who looks like you in this world that you're in. And if we had no issues, then theoretically in any particular jurisdiction, the proportion of Black researchers would be roughly equivalent to the proportion of the Black population. And certainly I can tell you in Canada that's not the case. Once we acknowledge that representation isn't equal, then it either has to be that we have an issue, we have a serious structural issue. And I think to Sigourney's point, it goes all the way back through the pipeline. It goes all the way back to when a little 4-year-old or 5-year-old is thinking about what they want to do and who they want to be when they grow up, and who do they see in front of them as role models and mentors, and where are they directed to by their teachers.
I'm sorry if I'm just like maybe too over the top with my facial expressions and stuff.
Yes, I am absolutely.
But like when someone is speaking your mind and your soul, that's exactly how I feel from some of the things that the panelists were talking about. So that's why I'm just like, over the top, because representation is important. And just hearing that being discussed again just reminds me of why I started this YouTube channel to start with, and why it's important to have marginalized groups and people who belong to those groups represented. It's done! I'm not a maniac, I promise. It smells so good. No, but seriously, I don't know if you guys can see it. The girl has her first review article. Oh my god, her first article. So you guys might wonder why I'm hyping this, right? It's just a review article. What's the big deal about this? And yeah, it's actually a valid question, but this is actually quite a sentimental paper. And I'll tell you a few reasons why. So when I took on this work, it was, I think last year, right after my first year Viva, my registration exam basically, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it because, I was just going out of my first year Viva. My first year Viva went well, alhamdulillah, but there were a few like uncertainties back then. So I was going from that, and then I got this request from my boss if I would like to take it on, and I wasn't sure of myself at that time, but I took it on because I was like, I have to do this. So I thought that, okay, writing this review article will help me to read, and the more I read, the more I'm informed about what is happening in the field. So at the moment, it's 16 pages, and it took me 5 to 6 months to have this together. And this would probably take less than 2 months or 3 months for some people. Yeah, I guess I was just trying to give you context to how the journey of bringing this together was for me. I guess what I was trying to say is that even though taking on this project was quite challenging for me at the very beginning, because again, as I said, I was clueless, so I had lots of learning to do, but I sort of enjoyed it when the whole bits and pieces were coming together. And yeah, so I guess now that I've talked about the background and why this means so much to me, I have this, I don't want to say toxic, but this weird relationship with my achievement, in the sense that I put in a lot of work in things, right? But then when I am close to the end and when I get the end result, I don't spend a lot of time on the result or just embrace the feeling of achieving something. I sort of just embraced it very, very briefly and then just move on to the next or think about the things that are out there for me to accomplish. And this is something that I've noticed, I think since I started the PhD, it became more obvious to me. Since then, made the conscious effort to, celebrate and embrace my small wins. I wouldn't say that I've overcome it. And I would even give you an example. So this paper wasn't actually published this week. As I mentioned earlier in the morning, it's almost a week since it was out. And there was a small part of me, I was so close to letting it die down and not talk about it because, yes, you've published a review article, let's move on. So I had to speak to myself, just realize that, yes, it's not a massive article in Nature or Science, or it's a review article, yes. But at the same time, it's something that is worthy of celebrating. Just, going from being clueless about doing something to creating like a piece that is worthy of publishing in a journal, even though it's not a massive big journal. So after realizing so many reasons why I need to, embrace this achievement and also tell myself, well done, that's when I was like, okay, I need to go crazy and grind and also have like an unveiling for my review article. So I went from two extremes. I went from an extreme of not mentioning anything about it or just letting it die down to saying that, okay, yes, I'm going to dedicate a whole blog to this. And I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is that celebrate your small wins. Like it's important. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of the process. And I'm talking to myself first before talking to you guys. Don't look around. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Your journey is your journey, and you don't compare your successes to other people's successes because we are on different paths. So it's important to look at your own journey and celebrate every tiny win that you have. Whether it's waking up in the morning to shower even though you don't have the motivation to do so, or starting a workout routine that you dread, or just starting the first few sentences in your essay. Celebrate the small wins and the things that keep us going, just keep us rooted in the cause or in the journey that we are on. So yeah, with that's exactly why I have decided to celebrate the small wins. So I'm going to leave the link to this beautiful, I might be a bit subjective, this lovely, well-written article in my description, so you guys can check it out if you're interested. If you're curious and you just want to know why I'm blabbing so much about this article, go to my description box and click on the link and download it and read it. Alhamdulillah, I'm just so thankful to the Almighty first and foremost always, and also thankful to my supervisor helping with all of the revisions that I had, the small milestones that will come together someday to make huge, massive achievement, hopefully. Now that I'm done my ranting, I think I'm going to go back upstairs to work for a bit till Maghrib time, and then I'll round up the vlog then. Hi guys, so it's 10 to 15 minutes to Maghrib, so it means that I have to round up this vlog. Thank you so much if you stuck with me to the very end. Today was quite different in the sense that there wasn't anything related to lab stuff, but I still hope that you found this interesting. If you did, please give me a like, comment below as well if you want. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join the small community community that we're growing here. We would really love to have you join us. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you remain safe and you're in the best of health. See you on my next one. Bye.